qualquer modo, também entre paredes na rádio comercial, de visita aos sinais de fundo. Hi there.
Hello.
How are you? Fine?
Hello, how you doing?
Yeah, it's I think it's a natural question asking what was happening with the gun club. You know, they were so quiet. Everybody was quiet. Jeffrey, everybody, you know, hidden somewhere, thinking about new plans of attack.
Working.
Yeah, working for
plans,
sure.
I think there wasn't a lot of call for publicity when you're working on things.
Yes. I think that there was something. It was something always to the band the band was adverse or against. You know, too much publicity, too much focus on the individual members or something like that. Why? The avoiding continuously. Genius.
I personally don't think we really ever wanted to be famous. Because we keep avoiding all the important parts that make you famous.
Yeah. But in certain ways, there is a twist of fate, and in a certain way, you're famous, after all. How do you cope with that?
Well, you don't really ever think of yourself as...
I don't mean famous in that mega-stardom thing.
Nah,
you know?
but even, you know...
You have your own circuits.
I'm glad that a lot of people come to our concerts and things. It's something you're never conscious about. You never think about...
You don't bother with it, of course.
Yeah.
Everything was always working at such a pace that you just never really knew... anyways, what was happening. You suddenly found out that you were attracting 1,400 people instead of 400 people.
Yeah.
And then you just sort
It
of...
has some meaning. Sure it has.
It became kind of a surprise that we were coming to Portugal.
Yes, it was.
We'd be at a radio station in Portugal.
I didn't know ever heard of us in Portugal.
I hope you can cope with it tomorrow. Right? Where have you been staying, both of you? Mainly in Europe or in the States?
In Europe.
In Europe.
Between Berlin, London, and Japan.
Yes. And Japan, yeah.
Japan's
just about European.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Any longing for this?
Not America.
Well, that doesn't mean it's Europe either, though. It's the Far East.
It's
the Far East and Europe and America.
Why that? Are you refugees from the United States?
Yes.
We've been
funny one.
Ravaged from the United States.
Yeah. Well, the Gun Club has a new album. The Gun Club reformed, or they reunited a few months ago, and they got instantly on stage. At least I read something in England, and they were tough guys. The guys who were criticizing it, they are stupid some of the times, but other times they are brilliant, and they were astonished with the set of the Gun Club, from everybody. They weren't, making a focus on Jeffrey or anybody else. It was a brilliant band and something that they stood just like, they were surprised, shocked. Do you have any idea of the effect a Gun Club show can have in the audience, wherever it happens?
I don't know, there's about 7 or 8 people I can think of right now that want to kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of effect... No, as we said before, we're not really conscious of. We just do what we do, and the way things happen. It's just we have a really great band now. Before, the musicians are much better now, and I think it really shows. And I think that's why people are astonished when they've come to see our last concerts, because it's been just the quality has been so much better than before.
I had an interesting experience only just after the last time we played together, watching the whole thing back on a videotape. And the band was astonished. That can't be us. We didn't.
Yes, they weren't there.
Yeah.
Well, the Gun Club has a new album. What are the feelings towards this new recording? There were so, there was a big hiatus, a big space between recordings, and Jeffrey even went on solo a bit with Wild Weed. That's the only album I remember, but it's brilliant anyway, in his part, of course. But the new reunion and the new sound, the new songs, what are the feelings of the band about it? Is the main material for the new shows, for the new Gun Club on stage? Do you recoup a lot of old classics or not? You can't remember.
No, I think...
We'll probably have split it pretty much in half.
It's pretty much half.
We have some of the favorites. But especially since we have never played in Portugal before.
Yes, it's kind of like the
So,
other.
yeah, I think we'll throw in some old chestnuts into the fire and watch them pop.
Of course. They are waiting to be shot.
Explode like landmines, rather.
Maybe we could listen to some of the new stuff. There's a song called Bill Bailey. It's the new Gun Club album. Bill Bailey, dos temas dos Gun Club, álbum novo, portanto também mais que motivo para uma turnê que há algum tempo começou e, como dissemos há pouco, teve já grandes saliências, sobretudo dos Stud Brothers da Melody Maker, em relação a uma atuação no Astoria. Os Gun Club para a data da manhã, segunda das Jornadas do Império, com Mão Morta na primeira parte e, portanto, 21 e 30, 22 no Cinema Império. Being in Europe and for the Far East, as Jeffrey said, for so long, maybe you aren't even interested in some of the problems that are arising. There are problems arising everywhere in the world, but I noticed especially one. I was reading the paper today in the morning, and I thought it was a good question if Jeffrey or someone from the Gun Club would be kind enough to come to the studio. It was that thing of the PMRC, and it was also the court case of Jallo Biafra. He came free out of that eventually, so he had a good lawyer. But, it smells like trouble everywhere. Do you have any opinion on that?
Yeah, that's something that... A thing that happened because we moved away in about 1984, and that kind of thing was kind of still, you could still laugh at it, and it wasn't a threat. But since then, especially watching it from the outside, watching it from not being there, it got really frightening, seeing that these people actually got some power and actually got, to do things like put an injunction against someone like Jallo Biafra, who's just in a punk rock band. He's not, for having for having a H.R. Geiger poster in his album.
Which is considered to be legitimate art all over the world.
Yes, of course it is.
But there is...
it is in Europe.
There is a bit of an obsession in the United States right now with Christianity and Christian morals and born-again Christian morality. And all that morality seems to, when it's linked with conservatism
like being
politically, and it's all together, and it's all really, you know that Ronald Reagan, of course, is a born-again Christian, don't you?
Yes. It all smells bad, anyway.
Yeah, and it's just, it lends itself in a nasty way in the direction of fascism, doesn't it?
Yes, because, it's people, people making music, it's entertainment and art, it's not, anything else.
Yes, sir.
And
there's a lot of people putting it clear that it's entertainment.
You'd have to turn around and you'd have
culture.
to ban half of Salvador Dali's paintings at the same time.
Yeah, there goes the Venus de Milo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Straight out the window.
There goes everything.
Now can we?
Yeah, I mean...
There goes the Venus de Milo.
And, it's just...
Especially Dali, if I had stuff like, what's that, the great masturbator?
Yeah.
And something like that. Forget it. I mean, immediately, we put that in the record sleeve in the States right now, it would, you have to go to court.
But it just wasn't. It was just strange to watch it. That stuff all brewed up right about the time we were leaving, and we weren't really aware.
Nobody thought that it was going to get really heavy.
Heavy, but it did.
But it did. It's going on.
Just like nobody thought they were going to start a war in Central America by the time we were leaving.
Yes. So you left in good times. The perfect timing.
We ran away.
Ran away. Yes.
Exile.
I remember that Jallo was also, but he's an American. He's living there, so he must take care of his words. He was writing in a billboard, so imagine, he got a lot of space in the billboard with an article of his own. It was great in a way, but he's coping with something.
I admire a great deal of what happened there, and the way he handled it and everything.
Jello,
I really admire what he did.
Yes, there were a lot of indie and well-known bands playing benefits to raise money for the cause.
It's
great.
Benefits ever, but I would take part in something for that.
Yeah.
I don't even think we would have trouble even playing in the States right now because we're called the Gun Club.
The Gun Club.
Yeah, even that.
So it's official.
Like,
it's the Rambo Club.
Even that's a threat to them.
one of the cases the prosecuting attorney stated in the trial was, you must consider what these names mean of these groups to begin with. For instance, here we have
The
names
Dead
like
Kennedys.
the Butthole Surfers, the
Yeah.
Dead Kennedys,
Yes,
and,
everywhere.
10,000
Maniacs even.
maniacs,
A
and
million.
people actually think that they're going to see 10,000 maniacs. In fact, I saw 10,000 maniacs play, and there was no maniacs on stage at all.
Of course not. They're just nice guys and girls. I was just
I've
pointing...
never had a permit to own a gun.
I was trying to connect the conversation and the writing of Jello because I was talking about the record companies and the position, the cretin and, in a way, poisonous position of record companies in that process. I was trying to connect that with the relation that was always hard and most of the times unlucky of the gun club with record companies. You weren't never fortunate with a contract, or maybe you weren't looking after a substantial contract anyway.
I think our timing was really bad for that sort of thing. Yes,
We talked about this a lot lately.
Yeah.
And that's why we're with the company we're with now, because they're just the straightest thing. That's why we didn't...
Which is a company.
We didn't try Red Rhino
Yes, they work heavy on their
in
ads.
London.
Very
in
independent
England.
company, does everything extremely straightforward.
Yeah.
And
they're getting results out of it, which is great. Yeah.
And they're getting results out of it. It's just a general business agreement built on honesty.
yeah, it was something. Honesty is something we never came across when we tried to get on major labels.
That's what I said.
When
I'm
we were,
lucky.
when we were approached, we've been approached by some, and they've wasted years at a time, leading us on, and then not doing anything about it. We've actually wasted a year of time.
More than that, I think.
Yeah, well, collectively more, but at the one.
In between Miami and Las Vegas story, 2 years. Waiting for Elektra Records and all that absolutely absurd bureaucracy and all that playing with everybody and
And letting it cool.
and politics going on in between the company and in between the band. And then finally, the end of it, they finally come down to you with a deal, for they made one deal when they made you interested. And you leave one company, you go on to the next company, and, 2 years later, they've completely changed absolutely everything. And you just find out that you've been lied to.
Yeah. Quite a story.
So just don't do it. Just don't do it again.
So we're much better off doing, because we made a record up to the standard that
Yes.
we've wanted to make.
It's sounding
And
behind us. Yeah.
Complete
problems.
complete artistic control. Absolute complete artistic control.
Yeah, no one.
And I bet that
All
was
the
one
bills
of
were
the
paid,
problems.
everything was done. Absolutely, and they didn't even get a chance to hear it.
We never had this happen ever before.
We got to be alone in the studio and work on it ourselves.
And just give them the finished.
And just gave them a finished product, and they loved it, and they were only just too excited.
Yeah. That's great. That's the way a lot
That's the way it should
of
be.
groups are working these days.
People would just trust us.
And they don't have interference anyway in the process of making the record. Well, you arrived with rain, and you may be tired. We took taking a lot of time out of your own. And I would like only to know if there is any special feeling. It's a weird place coming to Portugal, popping out just like this for a show and getting off. Is there any special feeling or nothing? Just the career and the playing live.
Did all of Lisbon fall in the ocean during the big earthquake?
No, it is not true.
So there's still part of it there.
But a lot of it.
I want to find that part.
Not in the ocean, in the line. It just dropped. Just like in the LA and the California zone.
Yeah.
It happens.
Oh, it's not falling in yet, but it's going
to soon.
Yeah, it's going singing. Okay. Nice to see you.
Be sure.
Okay, thank you.
If you can, have a good time here.
We will.
And then let's get back
And
to wherever you go.
come
Goodbye.
tomorrow night.
Okay, I will. Everybody will, I hope.
Everyone.